so-called flying saucers.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the SA. It's rotating.
Welcome to Kill the Stigma. So today I'm going to talk about the secrecy and why double down? Why is John Kirby saying nothing to see here? We just had lawmakers leave a skiff. They were in there for a long time and they all left with the consensus, nothing to see here with the mystery drones. Now we know they're saying that these drones are not linked to a foreign adversary and they're not the US military. They've said that and they say that's not a threat. So, something strange is going on. Even Donald Trump said so. Let me show you what Donald Trump said first. And I want you to pay close attention to his body language. And is it me or does he get uncomfortable? I want you to tell me what you guys think. Now, he gave us more information than everybody else, but he still got a little bit weird. Here.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people. And they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster.
They're
very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Fascinating and frustrating. So what could it be, guys? What can it be? Why are we getting, gaslighted so bad, right? So if it's not a foreign adversary and it's not the United States, then who is it? Now, a lot of people think there's a conspiracy that it can be the deep state. I've tried, guys, but the mission, the objectives, and the resource and the logistics don't make any sense to me. And the fact that they're coming from the water, I've seen a lot of cool UAP videos. I don't know if they're legit, so I'm not gonna play them because I'm not an expert in videos. What I like to do is listen to the human experience. And I've been going on Twitter and listening to people. I've been going to some YouTube shows where people are telling their experience. I like to listen to the people, right? And how it affects them. And there is something strange going on, for sure. A lot of orbs are being seen this week. I've seen more UAP videos. Like I said, I'm not gonna show them because I don't wanna show fake videos that might turn out to be fakes later. But I've seen a UAP almost like fight another UAP. It comes to it, then boom, something happens, it falls down. Then I saw another UAP blow up. Then I saw blue UAPs going to the ocean. What the heck is going on? But the thing is, there's also a lot of they look like man-made aircraft. Drones, they look like small planes, big drones. I don't know what the hell they are, guys. But they look man-made. They don't look like UFOs. So I get it. It's weird. Something's not right. I was listening to Richard Dolan on his site. He was going through the reports in the UFO reporting center, or Newfark, I think it's called. And he was saying there's something's not right. He goes through them a lot. I'm on his website, and he he usually does that, and he was saying something is not right. The numbers of the reports are ridiculously high. Now, I don't know what it means yet. That's what he said. He doesn't know what it means yet, but something doesn't feel right. He said he's gonna do a YouTube show for everybody, so I'll let him explain that. But I thought that was fascinating because I know he goes through those a lot, and he says the numbers were insane. He did go through a lot of some reports from New Jersey, and they're like, he's like, these are UFO reports. These are not drones. Look at, everything matches a UFO, like what a normal UFO report looks like. So I'm gonna go with UAP. I think these are legit UAP, guys. I don't know why they look like freaking small airplanes or drones. I don't know, but why? Why are they not telling us? Even with all the pressure they're making, look, imagine the psychological and the bad effect that's gotta have on the people in New Jersey, the mayors, the freaking elected officials there. They're like, what the hell are you talking about? How can you say it's not a threat? How can you say that we're seeing stuff that's just normal, lawful aircraft? What? I mean, look at John Kirby. Look at this.
A few comments on the reports of drone activity here on the East Coast, particularly in and around New Jersey. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin. Using very sophisticated electronic detection technologies provided by federal authorities, we have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. The United States Coast Guard is providing support to the state of New Jersey and has confirmed that there is no evidence of any foreign-based.
So how is this possible? How can that be? How can this guy just do this gaslighting to this point? Because this is very interesting to watch, right? Like, I've been fighting for disclosure, as many of us, and I mean, some of you might be here because of the drone sightings and all that, but I've been into this for the last few years, and we've been fighting for UAP disclosure. And I would think a case like this would be catastrophic disclosure, and it's fascinating and yet frustrating to see John Kirby double down like that. So what could that be? And now lawmakers just left the skiff, and they say, nothing to see here. They were in a skiff for hours, and they still report nothing to see here. There's no threat. Yet, they say, do not get close to these objects. If one of these falls, call the bomb squad. Make sure you're wearing hazmat suits, radiation levels. I reported that on my last show. What's going on, guys? And if you have objects that are like the size of a small freaking SUV over your house, that's not a threat, and you don't know what they're doing, and they're doing this every night, and there's many of them? How is that not a threat or a potential threat? It doesn't add up, guys. It doesn't add up. So there can only be, the reason could be that the information that they know is so scary that they'd rather treat us like children and deny it till the end. All right, so that's it. Now it's time for the tinfoil hat opinion, guys. It's my tinfoil hat opinion. This is the time of the show where if you're not interested, you don't have to watch this, where I go all the way to what I think could be going on. And it's crazy, and I can't even believe that I think this is possible. But I will show you people that are in the legacy program, that were in the legacy program, and what they think. what they think about why the secret before I give you my opinion on what could be going on. Here, let me show you Carl Nell. Carl Nell will talk about briefly. I want you to look at the slide he has, more importantly than what he's saying. We're gonna go through those and we'll see. And then I'm gonna give you my opinion.
Create societal disruption. All right, so this is an important slide because if we want to facilitate this board doing its work, then the barriers that impede that need to be lowered. And so you need to understand what the impediments are to disclosure. And so there's 6 reasons for non-disclosure: national security, lack of a plan, societal disruption, covert agreement, cover for misdeeds, and organizational intransigence. And you could just derive this from first principles. And so a lot of this has been talked about already, but let's look at societal disruption. Challenge to existing authority structures, ontological shock, market crash, false authority syndrome, stagnation of initiative. All of these are issues that are preventing disclosure. They're going to impact the plan that the board develops. If you actually shred through these issues, you realize these are really not government issues. These issues are more effectively solved in the private sector, in the academic sector, in legal reviews and policy discussions, in the natural sciences. So this tees up the opportunity for Saul Foundation and the members here to contribute to the solution of this plan, because there's a linkage here.
So that list has a lot. It's got national security, it's got societal disruption, lack of credible plan, covert agreements, cover for misdeeds. Reasons not to disclose. I'm gonna focus on those, but national security, right? We wanna keep technology from our adversaries. Then it says something strange there. It says like false syndrome, false authority syndrome, something like that, I think it said. And there's so much, guys, but I think I'm gonna touch on number 4, covert agreements, because that one says something that I've been wondering a lot about, especially now seeing John Kirby in the executive branch do this and seeing Donald Trump, we were getting kind of uncomfortable. He got uncomfortable. He gave us more, but he didn't say, I'm going to tell you the truth when I go to president. He didn't say that. Why is everyone so freaking scared? Why doesn't anybody talk? Why do they go to a skiff and nothing leaks? Nothing, nobody talks except be careful. Be careful. Do not get close to those objects. Just radiation, you know, something like that. Why? What is the big secret? Could it be tinfoil? This is my time for the tinfoil hat, guys, remember. Could it be that there was really a covert agreement with non-human intelligence? Could it be that? Do we have freaking alien overlords? Because when it says covert agreements, it says disclosure will accelerate negative repercussions. What? Then it says something about NHI quid pro quo. I don't know what that means, but disclosure will accelerate negative repercussions. And I started thinking about these drone sightings, and I started thinking to myself, man, didn't they just start after the hearings? Maybe that's a coincidence. Maybe they started before and I'm just tripping. And you guys gotta understand, this is going all around the world. It's not just Jersey, it's the UK, it's Florida, Texas, California, Jersey, New York. It's like they're coming from the freaking ocean, these things. And Germany, there's a lot of places where it's going on. I heard in China, they were freaking releasing some sort of substance. I don't know. It's kind of creepy. And they shot down Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio this last weekend. I mean, I don't know. Someone's trying to make a point. So back to the hearings. I have my tinfoil hat on, guys, so I'm speculating here. Nancy Mace said, "Come at me, bro." It said something about a program, a parent program. Now, when you say parent program, it means that is the freaking program. They barely gave us any details on those 11 pages. They just said a couple UAP cases that were interesting, but the code word Immaculate Constellation, apparently you get put on some sort of list. What the hell does that mean? Is that the list, the Men in Black list? They're like, oh, somebody said this, let's go, right? And then, so that happens. They put those hearings. The next thing you know, these drones are everywhere. And I wonder if there's a connection. I wonder, if somebody knows Luis Elizondo, can they ask him if he thinks that the uptick of this phenomena is connected to disclosure? Because if there is an agreement, right? If there is an agreement, how does that other party feel? Like whoever that is, whether it's non-human intelligence, do they want disclosure? Or do they not? Or do they disagree? And this is where we get into the weirdness and the uncomfortability of this topic. This could be where the guys in suits come and deal with the problem. We don't know who they are. Are they some sort of breakaway civilization dealing with alien tech, and that's why we can never find these people? Or where they can disappear, or, whatever. And we know they did this to Representative Luna and Tim Burchett and Matt Gaetz in an Air Force base. It's interesting because they're like, yeah, come right ahead, we'll brief you. And then something changes, and then there's 2 unidentified agents with the general, right, at the Air Force base, and they don't give us their names. They don't give them their names, you don't know who they are, they're just some guys in some black suits, the pilot and the general. And I wonder if these things can happen with people like John Kirby, President Biden. Are we really in charge, or is the top of the pyramid in the secrecy a group of non-human intelligence? And if so, is that connected to what's going on? Now, see, this is the territory where I'm like way off. I'm going too far. I know I'm going too far, so I don't know. That's just thoughts that I have. Questions that I have. I'm not saying this is what's happening. It's just questions that I have, because I cannot believe that they are doubling down on this. I can't. It's crazy. So did somebody scare them with some information? Can President Biden and John Kirby also get Men in Black, basically? And this is because I just don't understand. I don't understand, guys. I don't get it. How can they do this? How can they freaking gaslight? How can they do this to the people of Jersey? All of us. Like, how can? It's absurd. I know it sounds absurd. I'm not saying they got Men in Black, that the president got Men in... No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to find a rational explanation, and I can't. And it's like, I don't even know. I know it sounds crazy, but I have my tinfoil hat on. So yeah, I'm asking these questions. But I'll show you one more thing to back up the agreement thing that I was just talking about. Here.
And the real story, I am told, very, very reliably, is that there is a presidential order, action directive, whatever you want to call it, that was signed in or around 1954 by President Eisenhower that enshrined the secrecy of the legacy UAP retrieval and reverse engineering program. This has been kept a secret, even from Congress, in breach, by the way, of Article 1 of the US Constitution, which requires that Congress have oversight of everything it's paying for. This has been done in breach of those congressional oversight rules because of this somewhat lame and, I think, unsupportable presidential order since the 1950s. And I think that It's going to be a very interesting day of reckoning when Congress finally, if it ever does, develops the spine to ask the question of the White House, is there a presidential order which has essentially allowed this issue to be kept secret at White House level for many, many decades? And if that's the case, how do we justify that commanders-in-chief like Barack Obama, like Jimmy Carter, like Bill Clinton, notice they're all Democrats, asked the hard question, is there a secret UAP program? And they were told there wasn't. Certainly Obama was during his administration, and so was Clinton. But they've found out differently subsequently. They know they were being lied to, and they were being lied to because of this ridiculous presidential executive order. On what basis, you would ask yourself, and I'd love a constitutional lawyer to answer this question, on what basis could a former president or a previous president lock in a lie to all futures commanders-in-chief to stop them from being briefed into this program? On what basis was that a good idea? Last time I checked, America is a democracy, nominally. On what basis could a commander-in-chief requesting information about the UAP legacy program be denied that information?
Very good question. Now, he basically confirms the lore there, the 1954 meeting Eisenhower had. And this is crazy because I never thought I would get to this point in this, I heard that story way back. Even I might have heard that before I got into this topic. It's part of the lore. It's almost like Roswell, right? But, you just thought that was crazy, right? Obviously. Well, maybe not. And when there's a deal made, right, with a higher intelligence, a more technological, entity, usually whoever's less, right, whoever's less powerful is in the losing end of the deal. So we are in the losing end of the deal. What was that deal? What were the terms? Was the term you cannot disclose at any cost, or there will be consequences? Maybe technology in exchange for whatever, a few experiments here and there with cattle and humans, or what's going on? And if so, how do you tell that to the public? I'll tell you what, if Luis Elizondo was correct, which I don't even want to post this clip because I posted it so much, where he says preparation of the battlefield and that he has information, there's information that these things are coming to enforce in 50 years, but if you leak out the information now, that might happen tomorrow. And by the way, we're not ready for it. That's what he says. I will say this. If we have information, I'm not saying that's valid, but if we have information that these things are actually prepping the battlefield and they're going to take over in the future, then we're cowards, because we are leaving this world to our children. And our children are going to have to deal with that shit. So, if that is true, I don't care. I'd rather deal with this now. Because there's nothing worse to me than a coward. There's just nothing worse. I don't know what it is about it. I just can't. I don't know. So, and if it is preparation of the battlefield, what we're seeing a change, right? A change in the behavior, because now they're affecting civilians. They're over civilian populations. Now, the word on the street is that the UAP phenomena was increasing so dramatically that that's why this whole push for disclosure started, because they were seeing it more and more and more and more over military bases. But now we're seeing it over civilians, which could mean, if you want to take a dark, honestly, I'm not even taking a dark, I'm just kind of being realistic with my thinking. It could mean it's a next step of whatever they got going on, whatever mission they have. They are changing things, right? So if we take it from a military perspective, when you do preparation for the battlefield, first you do reconnaissance, right? You do your reconnaissance over the military, you look for gaps and weaknesses and all that. And then what happens when civilians start to notice things? I don't want to even say it, but usually when civilians start to notice, something's coming, right? I hope that's not the case. I actually think this flap's gonna end. In fact, if I'm correct about this deal thing, which I don't know, it could be that they have information that they know that if they just say that, these things will go away. I don't really know because they're saying it's not a threat. How can they say that, right? I honestly don't know, guys. I'm just giving you my opinion and trying to mix it with my research. David Grush also talks about deals, right? And he did say, he told a journalist, Walter, I think is his first, I don't remember his last name, that soon there's gonna be something going on that's gonna be undeniable. Now, would that be an increase of the phenomena where we can't hide anymore and everybody starts seeing it? Maybe, it's hard to say. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts about what's going on right now. I don't really know if I'm correct or not. I'm just, I'm trying to explain the secrecy of this topic. And in the beginning, in my intro, I do have a FYA denial, which says anything UAP is classified except for disclosure in its entirety. And that's true. You see these documents that are completely blacked out, and why, right? Even now, where a lot of people are seeing this, they're still denying it. And that's unbelievable, right? I thought that this would be enough, but no. So, is America a democracy? Really? Nope. Who's in charge, man? If Trump gets there and he does not disclose, he doesn't tell us what's going on, and this continues, I'm going to be very disappointed, but not surprised. Because he seemed very uncomfortable. He should have said, once I get there, I'm going to fix this problem. He didn't say that. So we got to wait, guys. We got to wait. I'm telling you, it's not Russia or China. I said it on my last show. Whoever wants to bet, I'm still open for bets. But I doubt it. I don't think it's us, honestly. I'm going with NHI, guys. It's been going on for too long, and it just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, we'll really get to the answers when Trump gets into office and sees how he deals with this, and if this flap is still going on or not. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for today. Adios.